clip that you're about to see is from Jay just after going through the UpLevel Mind coaching process, having the realization that the issue that he struggled with, which is he's somebody who's done years of therapy, gone into all kinds of inner work modalities to really figure out this one central question of like, how do I fix how I'm broken? What's broken? How do I fix it? What you see is he describes it as beginning to realize that there is this alternate reality where he's not broken. And that whole time he's actually just been diving into figuring out a high resolution version that just gives him more details on why he's broken. And going through the UpLevel Mind coaching process, he's beginning to realize that there's another reality. So what you're going to witness right now is him giving his feedback off of that. And then after that minute clip, you can dive into the highlights of the actual conversation and you can see the UpLevel Mind coaching process in action.
I couldn't see, totally blind to. I'm totally in this reality, absorbed by this reality over here, the broken reality. You sort of like then this other reality starts to come into view. Even when I thought I was doing that, I was still doing that. Which, like you said, you can just create more and more resolution over there forever. And you're still going to be over there. So yeah, you started to sort of tease apart something in my awareness, or I don't know where that's coming from. Exist in some other world. I don't know what some parallel dimension. I don't know what you suppose. There's a number of ways you could look at it. I don't know, but something started to come into, oh, there's this possibility. And I can see there's contrast. There's a difference. I can see the contrast. I can feel or see the contrast. And so that, in my experience, that's important.
So what you just witnessed is Jay putting into words his experience of really going through the UpLevel Mind coaching process, and how after decades of viewing the world through this one lens of I need to fix myself because I'm broken, he's trying to process, wow, that there's an alternative reality where not only am I not broken, but I can actually thrive in not being broken. I can create my business. I can experience abundance. I can go into the world experiencing the world as whole. And that's what you see. He's trying to put the words to his experience, and it's a fabulous job of it because it's such a different, like he calls it, it's a parallel alternate reality that he's now experiencing that's been opened up in a conversation that goes less than an hour. So in the remaining highlights of this particular clip, what you're going to see is some of the questions and some of the feedback and the observations that ultimately led him to have this realization, and really the power of the questions in the UpLevel Mind coaching program. So enjoy these clips. And if you want the full conversation breakdown, you can see the link to the episode.
Yes, it's really, it's a real challenge to stay focused on gratitude, to keep moving forward from an inspired place when there's also this fear happening. It's pretty intense. It's kind of more intense than it's ever been, which on some level actually kind of makes sense to me.
So if we were to switch gears a little bit and look at all of this from a different perspective, like what if you weren't broken at all? What then?
If I weren't broken, if there was nothing wrong with me, if I didn't think that there was something wrong with me.
Well, right now it's not even I'm thinking there's something wrong with me. You're actively looking for the things that are wrong with you. So what if there was actually nothing to fix?
I'm actively looking for the things that are wrong with me. I mean, could you say a little bit more about how I'm actively looking at the things that are wrong with me?
Right. Well, for one, right, like if I look at all of the narratives that you've mentioned today, right? Like you yourself said it, like, okay, there's something wrong with me and I have to like come to the root of it. I've never been able to penetrate it fully. This pain, why can't I like do gratitude naturally? Always looking at lack, always being afraid of something. It's deeply rooted in my subconscious, right? I can't think my way out of this. It's locked in my body. I need support and help to actually connect with it. That all signifies that there is something bigger than you that is currently afflicting you, that you need both personal and external energy to tap into, figure out, release,
Right.
fix.
Sure.
Right? I.e., if this stuff that wasn't here,
yeah,
then I would be fixed. So that's how I
Sure.
came to that conclusion. So does
Sure.
that resonate with you or not?
Yeah. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah. I'm a lot of striving to sort of fix myself.
But what I'm asking is, if you didn't need fixing, who or what would you be?
If I didn't need fixing, and there's a thing that happens where it's like, yeah, I recognize it's like this huge part of my identity. And I come to this place that's really empty. There's like nothing, empty. Like,
So
I
if
don't
there
know.
was
I don't
nothing to
know.
fix,
I don't
you
know
would be
who I
empty.
am. I don't know who I am. Like, I come to this place where like, shit, sorry, maybe I'm not supposed to swear.
You can make this into a pirate podcast all you want. Like that's fine with me.
Shit, maybe I'm not supposed to. Well, I forget what I was going to say. I don't know who I am. Basically, I don't know who I am.
If you didn't have to keep fixing yourself, you don't know who you are.
Yeah. I don't, maybe on some level, I don't exist.
Maybe on some level that's true.
You were confirming what I was saying, or?
Yeah, because right, the question was, who would I be if I didn't need fixing?
No one.
And your brain, first, it was like I asked you, like a tongue twister. It was like,
Yeah,
there was a long, like just
it's
trying to actually figure out what it
a
is.
brain fryer.
Correct, right? So that was the first level of defense. The second level of defense is, well, I would actually cease to exist. And I agree with you, because your default, simply because it's been repeated millions upon millions of times, is you are broken. And you've never considered, like, all of your imagination, mental real estate goes towards finding more and more things that you need to fix. It has never gone the other way and taken a look at, who am I behind that? And that is all that's ever existed. So because it's so upfront and takes so much priority of your mental or real estate, I agree with you. You considering it opens up the crack that you would be everything that you think is on the other end of you being fixed. That's already here. It's just hidden by this strong-willed identity. And your identity is really nothing more than things you keep repeating. Like, it is malleable. That
Sure.
part of you would cease to exist.
Right.
To zoom out and kind of give you the broader concept of where I'm going at this. And I did a podcast episode on this, but it came up in a bunch of different podcasts that I've done with guests on here as well. But this sentiment of like the higher resolution problem. So what I mean by that is, like, if you ask somebody to draw a house and they just drew an outline of a house, like, here is, kind of like the square bottom with like the triangle top, here's a chimney, like, it looks like a house. Cool. Everybody knows it's a house. You know it's a house. It's an outline of a house. But then you're like, okay, but like it's kind of a crappy looking house. So like I need to add some stuff in. So you add like the door, you add the windows, you know, you start to add like shingles to the roof. There may be some smoke in the chimney. Okay, this is like clearly now a house. It's a better looking house. Like I could do more than this, right? So you start to like shade it in, you start to color it. Maybe you add like perspective and 3D elements to it. Like you're just getting this like more and more detailed, intricate house. But the whole time it's a house. Okay. How is this relevant to your problem right now? If you replace house with I'm broken, so much of your mental real estate goes towards painting and shading and coloring and creating this higher resolution problem of I'm broken. Right?
Right. Yeah.
So you can go down this unlimited road. Like you said, what I focus on expands. I focus on lack. I end up getting more lack. And I become obsessed with the fact that there is lack. I can't be present with my clients because there's so much lack. It's the exact same thing with brokenness, that you actually can choose for there never to be a bottom to how broken you can actually be.
Right.
So that's not to say that you discount the whole thing. It's to say that we start this conversation by saying, I just need an outline of a house. So if you've already outlined in very good detail that like, hey, this is the patterns that I have that point to me being broken. What if that was all that I needed to then execute on the choice that I can actually walk from the knowingness that that's not who I want to associate with anymore. I don't want to cast votes towards this part of my identity. I don't want to keep reliving the past. That is actually a choice of, and I'm going to say simply, it's not simple. It's simple in its concept. It's not that simple in its execution, just because there's a lot of resistance with it.
Thanks for
The
that.
simplicity is in, if I've lived with this ball and chain for so long, it is the awareness work that I've already done that's actually let that go. But instead of choosing to walk without the ball and chain now in my wholeness, which is its own skill and embodiment, I keep picking up the ball and chain and putting it in a different spot. So I know that was kind of a lot, but how does all that land for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think of terms like like the ego. I don't know, my ego is just, it's tricky. It wants to keep that identity alive.
100%. Well, as you've witnessed today,
it's just really
right?
tricky and clever. Can I say something else? Or
absolutely, yeah.
Again, I have this sort of, it's like, you know, it's like a fish lives in water or something, but it doesn't, it's never known anything else. It doesn't been out of the water, and so it has no idea that it like lives in water. It kind of feels like that. It's like, I get what you're saying, and yeah, I can't see it. There's some way in which I can't see. I can't see that other thing, that other way of living. Are you calling the higher resolution problem, again, the part of me that's seeing through the lens of the broken me, and I'm just like building out a better broken me, basically?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
That's what you're calling the higher resolution problem.
Yeah. So it's like you're gaining, like, you know, if you think of like a very crappy image, like online, like that doesn't have a high resolution,
Right.
and then like you have like a really high quality one, you can zoom in all the time and it's still crisp. That's what you're building with Unbroken. Right? Oh, but then it's this thing that happened 10 years ago, and then it was that thing that happened 2 months ago, and then it was that thing that happened in childhood. Oh, but they're all like you can just go down that road many times, as many as you want.
Can make it as high definition as you want to.
Correct. Yeah, you can go from like 720p or whatever to like 4K, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Correct.
Well, it was like, yeah, I mean, another reality started to, a reality that I couldn't see, totally blind to. I'm totally in this reality, absorbed by this reality over here, the broken reality. Yeah, you sort of like, then this other reality starts to come into view. Even when I thought I was doing that, I was still doing that. Which, like you said, you can just create more and more resolution over there forever. And you're still going to be over there. So yeah, you started to sort of tease apart something in my awareness, or I don't know where that's coming from. Exist in some other world. I don't know what some parallel dimension. I don't know what you're supposed. There's a number of ways you could look at it. I don't know, but something started to come into, oh, there's this possibility, and I can see there's contrast, there's a difference. I can see the contrast, I can feel or see the contrast. And so that, in my experience, that's important, because this is one thing and this is another.
100%.